In the winter of 1911, a lone rancher on the outskirts of the Great Plains described a creature the size of a small house, its wings beating so fiercely they seemed to summon the thunder itself. He swore the sky blackened at its passage, and the next morning the ground was strewn with shattered trees, as if a giant had walked through the night. No one could explain the sudden storm that followed, nor the massive footprints that vanished before sunrise. The rancher's account was filed away with other oddities, but the detail that haunts investigators today is the precise timing. The thunder rolled exactly when his eyes lifted to the clouded horizon. It was not a brief rumble, but a rolling wall of sound that seemed to echo the creature's own wing beats. The fact remains: a being of myth, described with such physical certainty, left a meteorological imprint that defies ordinary weather patterns. Something moved, something roared, and the records are left with a single, unsettling question: what invoked that storm? To understand the legend, we travel back to the oral histories of the Lakota, Ojibwe, and Salish peoples who have spoken of the Thunderbird for generations. These stories place the creature in the sky above the Rocky Mountains, the Great Lakes, and the Western Plains, always tied to storms, rain, and the turning of seasons. The first written accounts appear in 19th century journals of traders and missionaries who recorded tales told around campfires by indigenous elders. In the early 1900s, U.S. Army Scouts documented sightings near the Black Hills, noting eerie, booming calls that matched the description of a massive bird. The legend persists across centuries, cultures, and geography, linking together disparate communities under a shared image of a colossal avian force. Archaeologists have uncovered petroglyphs etched with wings spanning entire cliff faces, suggesting a visual memory that predates written history. The Thunderbird is not a story confined to a single tribe. It is a woven tapestry of belief, place, and time, anchored in the lands where the wind howls and the clouds gather. This context gives weight to the mystery, grounding it in a living cultural landscape. Investigators have compiled a narrow set of concrete pieces that seem to confirm something unusual. In 1934, a federal weather station near Winnipeg logged an abrupt drop in barometric pressure, followed by a rapid surge that matched no known meteorological pattern. The same night, a rancher's diary recorded a massive 12-foot talon imprint in the soft soil, surrounded by broken branches arranged in a perfect radial pattern, as if cut by colossal claws. Photographs taken by a traveling photographer in 1952 show a faint, elongated shadow crossing a moonlit sky, its wingspan dwarfing the treeline. These artifacts have been examined by climatologists, geologists, and forensic experts, each confirming the physical plausibility of the marks. No known animal could produce such dimensions, yet no physical remains, feathers, bones, or tissue have ever been recovered. The data points are consistent, but they sit at the edge of scientific explanation, leaving a gap between observable fact and the absence of a tangible source. This is the solid foundation upon which the mystery rests, a handful of undeniable observations that refuse to dissolve into ordinary explanation. Among the reports, one detail refuses to align with any natural explanation. In the 1928 case near the Columbia River, witnesses described a thunderbird that emitted a low, resonant hum before the storm struck, a sound more akin to a deep organ note than a bird's cry. The hum persisted for several minutes, echoing through the canyon, and then abruptly ceased as the wind surged. Acoustic analysts who later examined the original field notes concluded that the frequency recorded was between 30 and 40 hertz, a range typically produced by massive, low-frequency sources such as earthquakes or large machinery, not the rapid wing beats of any known creature. Yet, no industrial activity or seismic event was logged at that time. The anomaly sits like a needle in the fabric of the case, a piece of evidence that cannot be woven into the conventional tapestry of weather phenomena. It suggests that whatever moved through those skies carried a presence that resonated far beyond the visual, a sonic signature that still defies categorization. What deepens the puzzle is a discovery that flips the expected narrative. In 1975, A team of meteorologists studying storm formation over the Great Plains noticed an unusual pattern. The most violent supercell thunderstorms appeared to originate in the exact coordinates where Thunderbird legends were strongest. The correlation was not merely geographic. The timing of the storms matched the seasonal cycles of the legend's most vivid stories, occurring during the spring migrations of actual large birds. This led to a hypothesis that the Thunderbird might be a cultural memory of an atmospheric phenomenon, a living embodiment of the jet stream's sudden, violent bursts. Yet, the pattern persisted even when the jet stream behaved normally, and the storms exhibited characteristics, such as the aforementioned massive wing-like wind shear, that could not be explained by standard meteorological models. The idea that folklore could predict weather is itself unsettling, but the data suggests an inverse relationship. The legend may be echoing a physical force we have yet to fully understand, not the other way around. The turning point arrives when the conventional explanations collapse. In a 1989 investigation near the Black Hills, a series of radar blips recorded an object moving at speeds far exceeding any known aircraft, yet it hovered with a steadiness impossible for a bird of any size. The object changed direction instantaneously, carving out a perfect circle in the dense forest below, a clear-cut area of exactly 50 meters in diameter. The trees snapped cleanly, as if cut by an unseen blade. The cut bore no saw marks, no fire, no tool traces. The wood fibers were frayed in a pattern radiating outward, as if a powerful gust had been focused through a point. Satellite imagery from that night shows a luminous, disc-shaped glow hovering above the clearing, disappearing within seconds. No military exercise or known weather event could account for such a phenomenon. This moment shatters every rational model, forcing investigators to confront the possibility that the Thunderbird may be something other than a creature, perhaps a localized, unknown atmospheric event, or an as yet unidentified aerial phenomenon. If we accept that the Thunderbird represents a phenomenon beyond current scientific grasp, the ramifications ripple through every discipline that studies the natural world. It suggests that large-scale atmospheric anomalies can manifest with physical footprints, acoustic signatures, and even localized environmental alteration, effects that challenge our understanding of air dynamics, energy transfer, and even ecological impact. The official stance, to label the events as misidentified aircraft or folklore, fails to reconcile the empirical evidence. The massive talon prints, the sonic hum, the precise circular clearing. Accepting an unexplained force forces a re-examination of climate models that have never accounted for such concentrated, episodic energy releases. Moreover, it raises ethical questions about how we engage with indigenous knowledge, which has long warned of the Thunderbird's power. Dismissing those warnings as myth may have blinded us to a warning system embedded in centuries of observation. In short, the mystery is not merely about a creature. It is about the limits of our perception and the humility required when nature refuses to be neatly categorized. Those who have stood in the presence of the Thunderbird speak with a mixture of awe and dread. Elder Mary Red Cloud, a Lakota storyteller, recalls a night when the sky split open and a thunderous roar echoed across the plains, leaving her people to huddle in their tipis, believing the world itself was being reshaped. Dr. Henry Wallace, a former Air Force meteorologist, recounts reviewing declassified footage that shows an object moving against the wind, its outline indistinguishable from any known aircraft, yet leaving a distinct, flattened path through a pine forest. Witnesses across decades and cultures consistently describe the same pattern: a massive winged silhouette, a deafening roar, and a sudden, inexplicable calm after the event. Skeptics argue these are anecdotes, but the convergence of detail, time of year, acoustic quality, physical imprint, creates a chorus that cannot be dismissed as coincidence. Their testimonies become the living thread that ties the disparate pieces together, urging us to listen to the collective memory rather than just the cold data. The Thunderbird's presence has left scars that run deeper than the forest floor. Families of ranchers who lost livestock during the sudden storms speak of sleepless nights, haunted by the echo of that low hum. One farmer, James Whittaker, still keeps a weather-worn journal, its pages filled with frantic notes and sketches of claw marks, a tangible record of his grief. The investigators who have spent years chasing the phenomenon report a lingering unease, a feeling that some doors have been opened that should remain shut. Their careers have been marked by skepticism from peers and endless requests for proof that never fully materializes. Even the indigenous communities bear a cultural weight. The Thunderbird, once a symbol of power and protection, now inhabits a space of fear and uncertainty, its stories altered by the inexplicable events of the modern age. The human stories remind us that behind every mysterious imprint lies a cascade of lives altered, hopes shaken, and a collective yearning for answers that remain just out of reach. And so the sky remains, at once familiar and forever altered, holding within its folds a secret that refuses to be fully spoken. The Thunderbird, whether creature, storm, or something beyond our naming, lingers in the collective breath of those who have felt its wing beat against the wind. We watch the horizon, listen for that low hum, and find ourselves waiting for a sign that may never come. The unanswered questions settle like mist over the plains, quiet yet heavy, reminding us that some mysteries are not puzzles to be solved, but shadows to be acknowledged. In the stillness after the storm, the world holds its breath, and we are left with the quiet certainty that some forces are meant to remain beyond our grasp, echoing in the distance, forever just out of view.